Hello, this is the Brad Stove. I'm here with Serena here on YouTube. This is a storyline reading about a young man. He could be a teenager or in his 20s some kind of way, a popular person. I don't know who it is though, because I had a dream about somebody 2 days ago. So I just wanted to do a storyline reading as far as this person here. This was like what you call killing from when somebody threw the cocktail in the window. So seemed like the guy himself was the only one killed in the situation. As far as the fire, the house was ablaze and that person was the only one killed. So I don't know if he lived alone or what. But it was a corner house in my dream. And everybody gathered around, I guess that knew him, gathered around in his block. They closed the block off. They had like two big posters of him some kind of way. So he might have been loved by a lot of people or known by a lot of people in his neighborhood. He might have been popular. He might have been nice. I just don't know what it was about him. He was good looking though. So I just don't know anything else. I'm just going off what my dream was showing me. So later on in the dream, it showed that the funeral was going to take place, but it was like, well, you gotta look at the funeral on screen because evidently you couldn't, touch the person because, they had it on screen. So it was like two rooms where you can look at the screen as far as the funeral. So they had like one like a auditorium like made like that with a bunch of seats in it, and the other room was like tables where you can sit down and eat. But both rooms had like a screen on the wall to look at the funeral because it wasn't a fire, so you wouldn't be able to actually see him because the casket would be closed, or it might just was a memorial at the place, but I really think it was a casket they had sitting there. I'm just not sure. But on the screen, so I went there. I saw my sister was there. My sister was in the dark. She was like in the back seat, like in the dark where you barely could see her. Like it was blackness. I sat in front of her. But let's see. Let's see what else. I don't know who the person is, right? Myself personally, it could be somebody she know. I just don't know. It could be somebody my sister know, by my sister being there. It could be somebody I know. It don't have to be somebody I know, but I'm just trying to figure out why was I there and why was my sister there. So I just don't know. That's all I can tell you with this dream that I had. So I'm gonna do the storyline, okay? So okay, let's just flow the first card. The first card is this person was doing conscious living, whoever he was. So he was making a lot of money some kind of way, laying down next to somebody. So he might was somebody who made a lot of money, somebody who might live with him, or somebody who might was connected to him was the one who started the fire. Could have been a woman, a love interest, or another man, or whoever this is. Okay? Because I got a feeling a person who was killed by this cocktail, that thing there, where you throw it in a window and it caused a fire. I feel this person had a lot of money. Okay? So we got numbers 1373. Could be anything. It was forced. It was thrown in a window. Remember you heard me say? So his death was forced. Okay? Because somebody was tired of his crap. He was a beautiful dreamer, the one who died. So we have right here that the person who did the throwing of the cocktail felt like the other person was loose. He was knowing he was loose, so he might have felt the person was cheating, or felt the person was easy, or by him being sleeping, that makes it easy because the person sleep, they cannot help themselves. Okay, it was a test score because he had beautiful feelings for this person. Who was in the house. He had beautiful feelings, but some kind of way maybe the person was cheating on this person or anything like that. Okay, next card is he was going to see a doctor and a nurse, the person who did the throwing of the cocktail. Okay, his ears was closed as far as a situation, a person maybe who was in the house sleeping, might to whatever this person who threw the cocktail was talking about maybe. So this person that was sleeping might have admitted to something that the other person was right about something because he had to see a doctor and a nurse. Or maybe this person gonna admit to the law that he guilty of what he done. Maybe he kept his ears closed at first like he knew nothing about it, but all the time he knew. It was challenging, that's why we can't make it the one who died and the one who threw the cocktail in the window. So we got number 17, somebody could have been 17. We got number 71, number 8. Something could have happened in August, something could have happened in, July, January. It's flattering, so what? One didn't want to hear what the other one had to say, maybe at one point in time, so one of them was going to stand up against abuse, and he felt it was his choice to stand up against abuse because one of them questioned the other one's ability to be a star. So the one who was in the house maybe was somebody who stand out, who people kind of, because it seemed like it was a crowd of people in the block, like they had the block closed off, like he was somebody important, like he's somebody who everybody know. Maybe he dressed good, I don't know. Let's just see, or let's see something. This person was questioning the person's ability to be a star. So the person who was in the house was the star maybe, but the other one was questioning his ability to be a star, or the one who was in the house was questioning the one who threw the cocktail ability to be like a good partner, a mate in general, or to go do some talking or whatever this is. So let's just say one of them insinuated a sharp words to the other, and a time was set and mentioned. So one of them was educated but didn't want to be made a fool out of because the other one was a jackal. So we have right here that don't die with the person, you still have life. So the one who threw the cocktail wasn't want to die with the other person because he felt he still had life. So we got the Gemini sign, or somebody act like a Gemini. So he was dwelling on the person in the house, right? The Gemini, the two-faced friends here. Okay, so we have right here that he saw him plenty of times, or she saw him plenty of times. So it could have been a female who threw it, or it could have been a man, whoever it was, because whoever it is was fixated on the one who died sexuality. So it was like a two-ring circus that one who did the throwing of the cocktail, he was coping because he's entwined in gossip. A man or woman or whoever this is, right? Unless it's a gay man, whoever this is, right? So he had to get back to what God intended him to be in life and stop letting the world talk for him or anybody else or her or whoever this is who did the throwing, right? So we got twins, so it could be somebody who twin flame, or it could be two gay men, or a couple in general, or they might have kids together. It might be two boys, two girls, or whatever this is, or you might have kids, or whatever this is. So I'm ready to be guided to my path. So the one who died, he was ready to be guided to his path because he was murdered. So he went to his path. He was forced to his path by the person who threw that cocktail. Follow me? But he existed for a bigger reason than what this other person thought. He was an earth angel. So the one who threw the cocktail wanted it to be like it used to be. Laugh at the oldies, let's do it all together, and have things like it used to be. Gathering up everything to bring in the happiness, right? So this person wanted to take the other person's hand forevermore. So we got number 2, right? So how much would it take for the one who threw the cocktail to have a stable mind? How much would it take? God says, right? Because he was out of control, right? So he was staying at a dead-end job some kind of way. So he need to go fill out some applications to get happy again. So it could have been, he could have been somebody who was paying, or who was making money by sleeping with people and getting money that way, or whatever this is, right? Okay. So she or whoever this is, one of them, right? So it was talking in us around in some kind of way. So cognizable. There was something cognizable. Help was a minute away for this person though, so we got number one. Because this person was on the ledge and on the edge because he felt the other one treated him like trash, right? But he treated the person like trash when he set the house on fire. So this card say house, the lighthouse. So fire lights up the house, correct? So he lit the house up, right? He captured the person sleeping and he lit the house on fire. This a lighthouse. But this card really means that this person who did the throwing of the cocktail, right, needed to get some help. Go to hospital, go to church. But he did go to hospital because it said that he saw a doctor and a nurse. But he still needed some kind of other help, right? He insisted on a period of time with the other person. But the other person was sleeping, I feel. Because usually they do this kind of thing when people sleep. So he insisted on a period of time. But this storyline just simply means he picked out a time and he went there, right, to where the other person lived. And he seek revenge on the Negro. Follow me? And he threw that torch, right? So we hear right here that it was challenging to get a windfall, right? And he's going to jump for joy because it was challenging to get a windfall. So he's going to jump for joy once he set the house on fire, right? Because some kind of way he was probably making money with this man, sleeping with this man, or what was going on, some kind of way, laying down beside this man for money or whatever was happening. Something was going on. So we have that maybe the one who was in the house was animalistic, controlling, dominating, or fighting or whatever to the one who threw the cocktail. He wanted a precious occasion and he wanted to tap into it. He was chewing on luxurious, making money, getting a lot of money, but he was being fearless. Universe, speak to me. This is the one that the person who was murdered was going to be fearless, talking to God, lead me to my path. Because the one who was murdered was chewing on luxurious. Follow me? And he is going to tap into an occasion, I guess, to make his life better because he knew he was meant for greatness. I'm meant for greatness. But he wasn't going to allow himself to be molded. So he had to not move fast like a sailor, but have a wise mind. But then we had this person who set the house on fire, moved fast like a sailor, and didn't have a wise mind and just set the house on fire. So any deterrent there, let me say it right. Any deterrent he needs to get away from in the AM. So we got number 52, look like. 5:21 a.m. So this person could have threw the cocktail in the middle of the night, after 5, or just in the middle of the night, the a.m. Because right here, he was motivated to do that because he wanted to be strong. He wanted to be strong. He felt like he had control. The person being asleep, so he was in control. And because that's really a coward way of doing things, right, where somebody cannot help themselves and defend themselves. Really it is. Because he felt the person in the house who was asleep was taking him as a joke. Because he wanted to save some money, but maybe he couldn't really get his hands on enough money to save or make enough. So did he love the man in the house? Or he had a wife in general, or maybe he's messing around with this person in the house, or whatever this is. So he felt he couldn't believe the man in the house. So he got the man isolated, and the man was isolated because the man was sleeping. And it was the middle of the night. So usually a lot of people is not moving about the middle of the night. He felt it was justified because he wanted this man to care with him as far as giving him money or be a love interest or whatever he wanted. So we had he felt maybe the man who was in the house, whoever this person was who was in the house who was killed, he felt that person was intellectual. And the person was teasing him, picking on him, or talking down to him some kind of way. So he was looking at the positives in this man in the house, because the man in the house had to check a past. So the man who did the throwing of the cocktail had a life itself was like a jigsaw puzzle for that person. He was trying to make money. So excuse my French. He wanted no more excuses. So he was going to see what was right for him and see what was right in front of him. So it was a scary behavior. What he did, that was scary, that behavior that he displayed. Because he is lost in the woods or in the wilderness in his mind or in the physical. So for him, he is lost in the wilderness in his mind. Not physically, but in his mind, because like God said, life was like a jigsaw puzzle for him. So he had a lot going on. So if he had actually had a wife, he is messing with somebody on the side, or this person could be his boss or something like that, and he decided to do something to his boss because he wasn't making enough money or whatever this is, right? Let's see. We're here number 10. So he wanted the person who was in the house to promise, because it's time to act, or he promised his own self it's time to act, to go set that house on fire. So he sat down and did some kind of talking at the table, or deciding something at the table himself with this person before, early in the day or whenever, or just sit down himself and just was thinking about what he was going to do. He was aching and it varied himself. He is picturing it, a crazy love with whoever this is, right? So if it's not a man, it's a female. It's somebody, right? So I'm just looking at it as it's a man though. So he's terrified because he was raped by the man that was inside the house, or he's terrified because he was stolen from by the man in the house, not being paid his right money. So he needed the man in the house to feed him, but also the man in the house might need him to feed him. So let's just look on it. He is getting upset. So I don't feel the man in the house was upset. It was this person who did the throwing of the cocktail. So the man who threw the cocktail, or woman, or whoever this is that threw that bottle in that window, that person there needed the other person to feed the person, because this person helped. Life was like a jigsaw puzzle. Life was falling apart, and this person was angry. Right? It was tension that came about. The person threw that bottle. So this person was going to enjoy the life that God continues to give the person to be happy again, because it was disturbance in this person's life, because this person was living a pipe dream. So this person wanted to sit down and sip and bite and talk to the person in the house, but maybe it wasn't happening. So he lit a candle. So let's say light a candle for him or her. So you hear what I'm telling you, the storyline's about. So what did he do? He lit the candle. He put fire to that bottle and he threw it through the window. So he lit a candle for that person because he set the house on fire. Because it says, what do I want? What do he want? He wanted to light a candle for that person. And what he did was light that bottle and throw it in the window. And the next card says he's going to get happy. It says get happy. And the next side of the card says, I'm gone for good. So let's just say, we're going to turn around and say, in his mind, he's saying the person is gone for good. You're gone for good. Next card is, he is dealing with it. He was isolated for a coping mechanism. Right? He is going to face it pure and straight. He's not raising some lollipops. The next one is, he is going to be that runner and put his all in to go make that happen, as far as setting his house on fire, or just trying to get away from what he did. I don't know why people do whatever they do and then they got a nerve to try to run. What you running for? You might as well stay. Right? Why'd you run? He chanced it and he chose to set that house on fire because they were uniquer. So both of them might have been gay, both of them might have been people who wanted to be a star, both of them might have been men, both of them could have been women, or no, I didn't know both of them women because that was a man who died. Whatever this is. both of them wanted to succeed, or whatever this is with these people. I don't see drugs, so I can't say drug dealers. I don't know what it is with these people. Both of them had something just alike, whatever it is. Both of them had tempers, whatever it is. They needed some filtering of the ways with one of them. He wanted to gain clarity in a situation. That's not a way to gain clarity, to set the house on fire, but he felt like he was going to be the man, the big man, right? But he's not the big man. You're a coward, because a big man, you're supposed to stand face to face. You don't catch somebody running down. That's not the way to feel you the big man. So it's adapting to your neighbor's wants and needs while your stuff is falling apart. So he was adapting to the person in the house needs, and he felt like his life was falling apart. Okay. The next one is, now it's vital that the one in the house find his path. Now God told him, and then he was going to be on his path. So we have one of the men wanted their money. Where's my money? So the one outside, I feel, wanted money from the one inside. Because the one outside had plenty of ideas for his fortune, whatever his money was, his pay, or whatever this is. So he was doing just barely enough, or the person that was in the house was doing just barely enough. So this man who threw the cocktail was being molded by the one in the house a certain way. He was molded, right? Where it's like somebody say, this is who you are, and that's all you are. So God says for the person who threw the cocktail, your outcome for a better future was for you to have no more conquests in love or in business. Because he wanted money, he's dealing with a biller. The person that was inside the house was considered a biller. So someone is anxious here. So he was anxious, and thoughts were spinning in his mind. So he wanted to get out of this rinky-dink place, and he was going to sail away from his problems and get away from this rinky-dink place. So once he set the house on fire, he felt he was sailing away from his problems. What he felt was a problem to him. The man in the house owed him money. He wanted money, or anything as far as money. And then he was going to try to get out that rinky-dink place. That just simply means if it wasn't a job, he was trying to get out of Dodge, get out of town. So he is lighting again. Look at God. Lighting the fire. And he lit a fire. You heard me say at the beginning of the storyline. But this card says that how do he know it is true? That he is going to get out of that rinky-dink place and sail away from his problems? He was going to light a fire in him until it was lit. So let's just flow, and we'll take it to the victim. We got this person, whoever he is, the culprit. He was going to be lighting a fire in the person that was in that house until it was lit. So he is going to stand there. He is going to light that fire to the bottle, throw it in, and watch that house until that house went in real flames. And that will let him know that the person, died or was burnt out. And that would be how do you know it is true? Because he's going to stand there and watch. He lit it, and it was going to light a fire in him. He wanted to be where that person catch on fire, light a fire in him. Just what the card said. Is it my race? So one of them might be a different race, or one of them just thought it's better than another, right? Factual. This man needed to start loving himself, though, the one who lit the fire. Okay? So we had black. Somebody's going to see black for what it is. So he could be black, the other one could be black also, or one could be another race. I just don't know. Or one just thought they was better than the other. The person outside was energy seeking because, he is upset and mad. So here it is again. A court date is going to be coming up gradually. Or it might have been coming up, period, in the first place, and maybe that's why he did all of this. or it's just going to be a court date coming up because he got caught, because he recognized I'm yours. So if it wasn't a love interest or nothing like that, a friend, a love interest, employee, or whoever this person is, a neighbor, or whatever this is, or it could be a relative. They do all kind of crazy stuff these days, because somebody was picking people in the order of, could be job, trafficking, job, friends, whatever this is, lovers, or whoever this is, certain kind of people. So one of them went somewhere and they thought it was going to be nice, but it wound up being danger and negative below. So this man, he went to the other man's house. He went to the other man's house and he picked who he picked, and it was this man here that he might have been messing with, or whatever this is, or a female was messing with a man. A man is the one who was murdered. So whoever did it, female, male, trans, or whoever this person is who did the killing. But I don't know exactly if it's a man, woman, or what, because I keep saying he, she. I can't tell which one, but the person who was killed was a man for sure, right? So somebody was picking people in order of, and that would be the man who was murdered. He could have been a boss. I don't know who he is, right? Right? This person could have been an employee, a lover, or whoever this person is, a neighbor, or a work buddy, or whoever. I just don't know with that. But we do have right here that it was light at the entrance. So this person went to this person's house. Light at the entrance could be a light outside or anything like that. Okay, but it was danger below. That means negative came about. So we have that. Wait a minute. Okay, now we can get finished. So where was I at? Oh yeah, with this card right here. This card is light at the entrance. So it was like a light outside of the house or anything like that, but it was danger below. So the person was emotional, danger below, negative below. So on the other side, so somebody went somewhere and they caused chaos where it was danger below, negative. This person caused the death to the other person in the house, okay? So the person who did the setting of the fire was a person who was, something come from the person's childhood, was protective since the person's childhood. So the person was searching for the person inside the house. Female, male, no, it had to have been a male, because it's a male who was in my dream, I feel. So we're searching for a man who might have been a gay man, maybe. So the next card is finally the person in a safe and happy place, because the person is with God right here with this card. But the person who set the house on fire, finally the person in a safe and happy place, because the person feel like now the person's satisfied because the person got rid of the person. So this person wanted to fulfill this person's adventure, copyright, to seal a deal, the person who set the fire. So we have right here, thoughts were spinning in a person's mind. And it was repercussions for the person who was murdered, because this person was mad with the person who was murdered. But it's going to be repercussions for this person who set the fire, because the person who set the fire was tied or bound down to the person who was inside the house, who's the victim. Didn't want to be treated like an animal, didn't want to be controlled and things like that. So this person needed to look the person straight in the eye to eye contact, no biting the person's tongue, right? And talk to the person. But the person did a cowardly thing by setting the fire while the person was asleep. So knowing all money is green, so this person was making money the wrong way. And this person might have been laying down with somebody for money, or some kind of job that was the wrong kind of money. I don't see drug dealing, so I don't really want to throw that in unless I see a card in my hand and say it. So far it looked like it was a job that God don't condone, right? So can we be friends? That means no. So the person who threw the cocktail through the window felt like he wasn't friends no more with whoever this person is that's the victim. He manifested his desire and he did just that. He felt like he was sinking and he pressed forward, okay, because he was drowning in a sea of feelings he couldn't recover from. He needed to go somewhere for help though. So either the person was another race, or he just thought the other person thought the person was better than him. He might have felt like the other person thought he was better than him, or we dealing with more, different race people here. Somebody was racist. Okay, so we have right here that he is in the wonderland of the lost souls, and he wanted the person to disrespect the person's self. So, devilish street, sinful, any kind of stuff like that he was part of. So, he wanted to express something over candlelight. So he expressed what he expressed. He wanted the person to agree with him or whatever. So, he expressed something over candlelight. So, I'm going to take this as nighttime. And what he did was he expressed his feelings by throwing that cocktail through the window, and that would be candlelight because it was lit. Okay, help is coming. He need to stop thinking that he deserved abuse or the person deserved abuse. So it was intense energy with a popular crowd. So that could be work, or it could be the neighbors came out because of seeing a house on fire or whatever this is. So circumstances stopped the man who died from fighting for a lifetime because the house was set on fire. Okay? So, I wonder if this person got a disease because the person saw a nurse and a doctor, so that's why I'm wondering. But let's just see. So we have that. Okay, this person had a professional vision. The one who did the setting the house on fire or the other one. But he got to accept his punishment and open the doors to gravity because he murdered the other man. Or he felt like the other man needed to accept his punishment for some reason. So he was rallying and fussing at one point maybe with this other man before all of this happened. A story is flimsy, or he thought something was flimsy because he might have felt that he went through torture with this other person, but he put the person through torture because he set the house on fire. Okay? They was blaming each other some kind of way for whatever. He might have lost a job or whatever it is, or he might be blaming the other person. Like, you know how somebody say, he made me do it or something like that. But he want God to save him. Please save me, as far as, I guess, him going to jail. Or the other man was inside the house in some kind of way. He noticed the fire and he was screaming for help maybe. But he couldn't get out maybe. Talking to God or... Okay. He a pioneer. He felt he was being chipped away at, or... Let's see. Something was in the drawer. But he need not over talk. Something was in the drawer. So something was in his pocket, I'm going to say. And he did over talk. Because some kind of way they had some kind of fuss whenever it was. Okay, so he was antsy at a place, and that would be at work maybe, at an apartment building, at the person's house or whatever. So we got number 7. Something could have happened in July, but he cheapened a person's life. So God said that he need to get on his path or the other person right now. So he could have been another race, Greek, or just whatever race he was. I don't know. Okay, he wanted to be treated equal and fair, or he needed to treat the other person equal and fair. So he X'd out the person, and there's a witness that saw he did it. Could be the neighbors, whoever. Or if it was a job some kind of way, he might have felt like he wasn't being treated equal and fair, and somebody saw he got fired or whatever this is. So I'm scared. So the person who was in the fire was scared some kind of way, howling out to God, maybe trying to be saved, but maybe he couldn't get out, or we just dealing with the man at work. You can come. You can call somebody now and do it. He needs to call somebody because maybe he is scared after a while, after he set the fire. I don't know. Because he changed his mind about a female. So the man in the house might have been a gay man. Or he might have been one of them. Okay, or one of them was married and is messing around with somebody else or whatever this is. So we have right here that he was hand in hand with the enemy. He was wishing for a good decision. So he looked at the man in the house as the enemy. So he was going to go full force and grow his business, or the man in the house. The victim was going to grow his business because something come from way back, obvious, with him and this man. So wearing revealing clothes did it. If he knew him, should he tell him? So one of them might have been wearing female clothes or whatever this is, or the man that was in the house, or can he tell? Because one of them clapped back at the other one, and one of them said that he was done. So it was curse words. Can we make this right? The other one didn't want to make it right. Okay. Okay, so somebody was seeing somebody. It could have been behind the scenes or work or whatever this is, with whoever these people are to each other. Take me to dinner and play. You're not going to be using me. I love you. I like you, but you're not going to be using me. As far as not paying me my money, if it's work and a boss, or if it's a love interest with somebody, a man or a woman. But it's a man that was the victim, right? So if it's a lady that threw that through the window, it's a female. Or if it's a man, it's a man. Whoever it is, the person got cheating ways. Person didn't want to settle for less. So unfortunately, something didn't smell right. So person was slipping through, gliding through, moving through alleys, walkways, streets, or whatever to get to the other person, and that's what he did. And able to set that fire, because he said, "You are mine, never forget that." So the other person is saying, like, "Are you coming for me?" So the person who set the fire was coming for the other person because he felt like the person was his. So he wanted no excuses as far as work. So he needed to work harder as far as and work for relationships. So one of them wants to get their mind settled and be happy again. This man, I guess, who set the fire, so there's a sure thing, he had somber pain, so he was going to take it a joyous occasion as far as setting a fire or trying to have a job back, trying to have a relationship back, or whatever this is. So this man needed more sleep to become more energetic, or the one inside was trying to get sleep or was dizzy or something like that, or the person who started the fire was drinking or high or anything like that. So he see it now because it was marked some kind of way that let him see something he needed to see. So cheating should have been the last thing this person did at some kind of hotel or some kind of place. So some kind of way the person was cheating, some kind of way. So if it's not a hotel, it's at work or something like that, some kind of cheating happening or something as far as money. But it looked like it's a romance where somebody was cheating as far as a romance and stuff like that. Yeah, and the person set the house on fire, like a corner house. It's a corner house. So I haven't heard of those in a long time. It's like a cocktail, it's called, when you throw it in a window. A lady I know son a long time ago in the 90s, that happened to where he lived at with his new girlfriend and baby. One of those was thrown in a window by the father of the lady's other child, and he made sure he got his child out and had his child babysitting his child that night, and then he came back later on when everybody was asleep and threw one in and set the house on fire. That's a coward way of being. And then in the early 2000s, hearing on the news that it was a family who was killed that way also because they wanted drug dealers out of the neighborhood and was standing up to drug dealers and didn't want them talking to their kids and things like that. Then we have, I think maybe later on in the 2000s or whatever, it was something else that happened where it was in the news where it was like somebody, I guess, playing basketball or whatever they might have been doing in some kind of way. It was where, I guess one of them beat the other one in basketball, or they just was fighting or whatever, but then the other one, he was mad, and then later on at night when everybody was asleep, he set the house on fire, throwing one of them in and killed everybody in the household, no matter who it was. Just off he lost a fight or lost a basketball game, or they was talking trash talk or whatever. So it's really bad though, you think about it, people doing things like that. But yeah, he's going to be caught. He's going to be going to jail, whoever this person is. So that's the Brass Love one.